What's going on, everybody? I got Jordan Farrow is in the house. It's What's Up Wednesday, baby. We got a lot to talk about. We're talking about prep today. You guys do me a favor, man. Let's share this puppy and let's have some fun, man. I've had a crappy day, but it's all better now. I got Jordan Farrow. He's in the green room, baby. If this doesn't get your blood a-boiling, pumping, I don't know what does, man. This is called the race, Space Race. Jordan Farrow is on deck. Let's welcome him in just a little bit with a nice, warm welcome. He's from Star Hobbies, and he's in the green room, baby. What's going on? Brooks Waltrip is in the house. Dude, what's up, man? Brian Hill, what's shaking? Bob Hamilton. What's up, buddy? Matthew Housen. Hello, buddy. Boom! What's up, everybody? Welcome to another installment of What's Up Wednesday. You know who the hell I am, and I'm in one of them crazy-ass moods today. I've had a bad day. I'll tell you guys about my day in a little bit, man. I got Jordan Farrow, man. If you don't know who Jordan is, I mean, he's a part of Star Hobbies. He travels like a madman. He seems like he's at every damn race that I'm at. You know what? So let's give him a warm welcome because he was supposed to be on last week. But because Jordan doesn't know how to use a phone, it is not my fault. What's up,
I don't know
buddy?
about that, Billy.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
How are you, man?
Just making it, brother. I'm away from home right now.
Where are you at?
So I'm in the process of moving a couple 100 miles, and right now it's 1 week here, 1 week home while I'm building the house. So we're staying at Dad's.
Hey.
It's different, man.
I got to ask you the question. Nobody knows about this question I'm going to ask you. Is it the October person?
What do you mean?
What do you know what I mean?
I'm lost.
You and I have a
September.
September?
Yeah, September 30th.
No. Listen. Let me get everybody up to speed. Me and Jordan have a little inside joke right now. I don't know if I want to talk about it, but he's got a new girl. And I've been giving him crap about this new girl. Is she watching right now, Jordan?
I'm not sure she's supposed to be.
Crap. Chloe, we love you. Jordan Farrow, man, what's up? How you doing, man? Talk to us. How's Star Hobbies? You guys made a change. You went from Jared Baker over to David Loxton. How has the transition been with Star, and what do you see in the future for David Loxton and the boys?
It's been good. Everybody's supporting. No offense to Dave, I don't think there's ever going to be a replacement for Jared, no matter who it was.
Nope.
Jared,
I talk about him all the
Jared
time.
treated us all like family.
Yes.
Dave's doing a very good job of trying to fill those shoes, but those shoes are exceptionally large. Dave, Dave's a good guy. Dave's really, really intelligent, and he's all about innovation. So I think him and Mark are going wild with it, and they love it. Jared loved innovation, but with Dave and Mark being so close together in location,
Right.
I think they'll be able to put a lot of things into place that a lot quicker
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
than
yeah.
maybe him and Jared could have, than Mark and Jared and Dave and Jared could have. Um,
This is something that you don't know, and actually nobody knows. I've actually been spending quite a bit of time out there with David at the new shop. He's got his hands full, man. I don't know if he's watching right now, but he definitely has his hands full. But you know what? He is definitely gaining some ground. He's setting up all the new machines, computers, all of the. Oh my God, I can't even think today. My wife says she can barely hear me. I don't know why. I'm loud and proud. Um, I think the transition will be fine. I think you're right. He's got some work to do,
oh,
but I think at the end of the day, everything will be fine.
yeah, and I mean, one of the innovations that they come out with was the kickstand, which I implemented at that race. Didn't have any testing on it before that, and um, I made a call to Mark that night, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm fixing to try the kickstand. What do I need to do with the tune?" He said, back this down just a little bit. Other than that, you're good to go. Send it. He also told me to change my complete tune, and I kind of went away from that. But um, you know, it was just one of those. I didn't think it was the right move at the time, and me and him have laughed and talked about it since then, and everybody understands that you got to do what you got to do.
Let me
Um,
ask.
but
Let me ask you a question about that kickstand. Not here. I might be stepping over some. I might be stepping on some stuff right now. I just barely saw it a week and a half ago. I knew it was out there, but when I was visiting David out at Star Hobbies, he showed it to me. He showed me how it worked and everything. How is it on the track? Tell everybody what the kickstand does,
uh,
and tell everybody what it does for you. Does it help? Let everybody know how it's working out for you.
so first off, the kickstand will be in full production before long. It'll actually be produced for multiple cars, not just the 5 Star Fury, not just 5 Star cars.
Yeah.
Um, Dave's wanting to produce it for the R1s, for the Apollos, for Custom Works,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
these
Right.
things.
Right.
It is a fix in our eyes to part of the getting stuck situation. Um, you put the kickstand down, it's got 2 screws in the back. You adjust it to height to be able to take some of the pressure off the tires. Um, Whenever you go to pull forward, gravity swings it up. Um, it locks into place up out of the way, and you continue on the run. Um, and Omar GC posted a pretty good video of it in action. It wasn't tuned perfect at that race because, of course, I'd never tested with it. I'd never ran it
Yeah.
before the second round in A bracket of that race. So I was just doing what I could with it, honestly. And after they saw that video, they're like, "Oh God, you could have added so much more power and did this and that." And I'm like, it, it worked out the way it was. I was kind of scared to add any power to it. I was scared to do anything with it because I didn't know what the signs of overpowering a road or was with the kickstand involved.
Right.
And
Right.
it's definitely another situation where it's kind of like you're tuning the ESC or in the radio. You've got to adjust it to certain conditions. And if I kind of almost half stuck one time, it just kind of lugged a little. Um, so we took a little more pressure off the tires and added a little more in the tune, and it went right down. And the fact that it went down that left lane that everybody was saying was greasy, surprised me after hearing them say how greasy it was. The fact that it went down surprised me. And in all honesty, I don't know if it was not throwing shade at anybody or saying anybody was wrong, but the round before the finals, Parker got stuck in that lane. So I don't know that it was necessarily that greasy or if it was the right lane was so much better, that so much stickier, that you had to have it turned up a little more in the right lane than the left lane. And then you get put in the left lane and you just overpower it. Um, I, you know,
Let me ask you something. I'm going to kind of go off of what you just said. Hopefully everybody can hear me now. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm screaming into this mic. Can you hear me okay, Jordan?
yeah, I can hear you well.
Yeah, everybody says they can't hear me. So my question to you is this. You said the right lane was better. Now, are we talking about Dallas, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so same kind of scenario up in Oregon. That left lane was better. So this is a two-part question for you, okay? How do we fix so this prep thing, is becoming like a big thing now. I mean, it really is kind of becoming a big problem. So my two-part question is this. What do we do? Hold on. What is your thoughts about actually, we'll do one question at a time because this might be a long one. What's your thoughts on spec prep?
I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
I don't like us taking advantages away from people and giving other people advantages that have used the spec prep,
Okay.
For that rate. Like I've never been, no offense to anybody, but I've never been a big user of Get Stuck.
Okay,
I
that's
know a
okay.
lot of people
Hey,
are.
listen.
You know,
Ford, Chevy, it is what it is. Don't worry about
yeah,
hurting
yeah,
anybody's
yeah.
feelings, dude.
It's
If
one
you
of those
start
that
worrying about people's
you know.
feelings, we got a problem. Just go. Just talk about it. Just
But
go.
you know what I mean? It's one of those that I'm not saying it's not a good prep. Hey, it may be the best prep out there. I
Right.
just haven't been a big user of it.
Okay. Fair
So
enough.
for me to race somebody that has been running it for 2 years, I'm coming into a race 2 years behind. I mean, we know the power levels and stuff like that. And of course, we can adapt and overcome most things if we have enough time. And at Michigan, I should have tested on it more. I didn't test on it any. I figured, I guess I got cocky and said, we can use anything. But when you're used to having the amount of traction that Frank Greer provides,
Okay.
you you blow the tires off the line. I mean, it's what you do. Um, and we did that for the first 5 or 6 passes there. Then we found a tune. Ryan ended up going 46, 44, 42. I don't know. He went fast. I had some motor issues late in the day and went 50 a couple times even.
Okay.
And then the next morning come in and made a couple good passes. We detuned the car a little bit for the next day. Um, I drew Spencer Rudd, which if you look at who went to the final 6 in that race, it was a really bad draw. Spencer's fast. He always is.
Yeah, he's
Um,
getting faster too.
oh yeah, yeah. The guy's putting in work. There's no doubt.
Yeah, for sure.
Him and Shea Beckner both.
Yep.
But I blew the tires off both passes with a car that was detuned from the day before. Ryan Clay did the same thing.
Okay.
Zippy and Tony went deep. Zippy was 7 minutes away from cashing. If it rained 7 minutes earlier, he would have been in the
Yeah,
money
yeah, yeah.
also.
He
But
told me that.
it it is what it is. And they did a very good job, and they figured it out. We all figured it out a little later than what me and Ryan needed us to figure it out. Um, I'm not saying spec prep isn't the way to go. I just think that there's, you know, nowhere in America is there 100 foot wide drag strip per lane. We're running 10 scale cars. What if
I
you
got it.
take that 10 foot wide lane, cut it in half, and you can go unlimited prep on one side, spec prep on the other? To go in the spec prep lane, you got to go through the spec prep line. And if you cross, you crossed. Um, you know, it
I,
it makes it to where the lanes aren't 5 or 6 foot wide, but at the end of the day, that's something we need to look at anyway. I mean, having 10 foot wide lanes, don't get me wrong, I'm notorious for hitting timing systems, but um, it would be some getting used to. But it's another option. Or we show up on Thursday and we have 4 sets of prep that we have sitting there ready and available. We hit a randomizer, and whichever one gets picked, you use it. That way, nobody can not show up to a race because we're going to use
I still think you'll have
Steve
problems, man. I,
Larson's.
I, I still see problems, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't necessarily know that they're and that's like me and you talked the other day in messaging.
yeah.
I don't necessarily know that there is a problem. I mean, a solution to the problem where we don't lose masses. Because the diehard outlaw guys, you've got 50% that don't care either way.
Yep.
25% want unlimited or nothing.
Right.
25 want spec or nothing.
Right.
So it's a tough situation.
So, okay. I'm going to tell you my opinion, okay? This is just my opinion and my opinion only, okay? I don't race. So you guys got to understand something. I do not race. I couldn't tell you the difference in Get Stuck to Reaction T. I couldn't tell you. I don't race. I just commentate the stuff, okay?
Right.
But something has got to give. Now listen. I agree with you I agree with you, but I'm going to disagree with you, okay? I agree with the part where, and I know this is happening down in here. We're going to talk about it right now. Catvetown meltdown. We got guys that were coming down there, and then when they announced the prep change, they're going somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it because you don't use that prep, right? I get it. If you don't have no time on it, and other guys do, you consider it you consider him better than you because he knows the prep better, right?
Right.
Okay, I agree with you. Okay, but here's where I disagree. Something's got to give because of these ESCs. Not everybody can continue to go down this path, brother. 37 ESCs in one race, 26 in another. It's got to end. Because if it doesn't, it's going to end because people are not going to spend the money on these blowing these ESCs anymore. So something has definitely got to give. So let me ask you this, okay? I'm going to ask you this question. You just found out a week ago or a week and a half ago that Alex and Nate changed their prep, the rule, right?
Yes.
If they would have gave you enough time, let's just say 6 months, would you have been okay with it then?
If I had another race that was outlaw prep, I would go to it. I mean, that's what I like.
No.
Now, if there's not another race,
Correct.
if there's not another race,
Yep.
yes, I would go to it.
Okay.
Like the Clash of the Titans, for instance. I know Tommy's coming on later, and I don't want to get too deep into what he's going to talk about.
I
but
forgot about Tommy.
I've never used Car. I believe in Tommy. I believe in Steve Rule. I believe in the guys that are running the Clash. And I believe that Mike Bush wouldn't put out a product that wasn't great because Mike, I pitted with Mike in Michigan. Mike's a great guy. Mike's a really, really intelligent when it comes to RC cars and, making it work. Big cars, making it work,
Yep.
So I don't think you would put something out there that wasn't a great product, but I've never used it. And no, I'm not happy that they changed it because we're, 3 months from the race, which is enough time to test, but we're 9 months into the series in my eyes. So people that, I spent $1,200 going to these races for the series because I go to 2 different races that are 4 hours away each, plus hotels and stuff that I've gotten a few times. And, now all of a sudden the rules change. It's like if me and you were playing Texas Hold'em and, I had ace king in my hand and they put out ace king deuce and they say, oh, deuces are wild. After I'm $1,200 into the hand.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm kind of pot committed at that point.
I understand.
I will be at that race, but not as happily going as I was. And I'm lucky that the people in St. Louis, some of them aren't going, and it allowed me to go because my local race program has been absolutely atrocious this year. I can't figure out how to quit turning the car up.
I'm listening.
Landon said hi.
Who? Oh, Landon. What's up, dude? Hey, don't go nowhere,
this
Landon.
Was my pit crew in Dallas.
Hey, I see you, Landon. You better not run away from your dad, boy. Landon ran away. We was at Atmore, Alabama, and Landon got, I don't know where the hell he went, but we had the whole police. Everybody was looking for him.
We found him quickly. He wasn't anywhere he wasn't supposed to be. In his defense, he had just went from playing on one side of the track to the other. So
okay, I just sent the link to Tommy Burgess. Let's get Tommy Burgess on here because he wants to talk about it. Here he comes. He's coming in hot, Mr. Burgess is coming in hot here. Hang on. Let me
He's
get
always
Tommy
hot.
on here. He's always hot, isn't he? Tommy Burgess. Hey, there's only one thing when you see Tommy Burgess, what is it you think? Woo!
You know it.
Trailer Park Mafia.
What's up, Tommy?
Yes, sir. What's going on, guys? Just working on my junk right here, building some shock shafts.
Did you get a haircut?
Yes, sir. Got to stay cool. It's only 7,000 degrees in the south.
You're looking good, man.
Definitely.
How's everything going,
Hey,
Tommy? How you been?
I can't complain. I ain't been tarred and feathered yet off the internet, so we're doing okay for
Oh,
today.
you're about ready to get tarred and feathered right now, man.
Oh, hey, I was born ready. Ain't nobody gonna get this cherry. That cherry's gone, man.
According to Ryan Clay, tar is the best.
Yes, it's hard and feathered. That was a play on word.
Tommy,
I'm glad somebody called it.
yeah, Tommy, I know you've been kind of listening to what we've been talking about,
Yeah.
I want to ask you the same thing I asked him. I want to know your, Tommy, you've been racing a long time. How long have you been racing, RC drag racing?
Been RC drag racing for 3.5 years.
And consistent. You are there. If it's not every weekend, it's every other weekend. You know what you're doing.
Yes.
You love what you do, right?
Love it.
What are we going to do, man? We got to figure something out. Now, before you answer this question, I have talked to Mark Vine. I have talked to, well, I'm not going to say his name. But we need to have a prep show. And I think everybody will concur. I don't know if Tom Rockwell or anybody from R1 is watching. We all need to get together. We got to figure this out, Tommy. You agree to disagree?
No, I agree we need to do something. I think we need to look back at the history first.
Okay, good.
So when I first started, it was dry tire. Everything was dry tire. You could use a baby wipe, simple green, something like that. They put down paper test, Lexan test, all this stuff. Did your tire leave a mark? Did it pick up 20,000 Lexan, X, Y, Z? When it changed, I can tell you the exact date it changed was the weekend I first met you.
Oh.
When I flew to Vegas for the second of the King of the Street.
Oh, yeah. I remember that, yeah.
So that's when I first met you. Me and Dustin's out there, and when I went through tech, I watched a man go through tech that had PJ1 on his tires. I questioned the rule, quote unquote. It's outlaw. Get used to it. I said, okay. When we went back home, everybody knew from that race forward who was using PJ1 or VHT, whatever. Everybody went to their local race directors and said, the big races are going to allow prep. So if we're not allowing prep on our tire, we're going to be behind the 8 ball. What did the race promoters have to do? They had to cave. They caved to prep. All right. So we rocked on for about a year and a half, roughly. The prep got better, but it wasn't drastic like what the evolution of prep overnight. So I'm going to throw this back in the racers' hands a little bit. The reason we are where we are is because racers have put us where we are. Race promoters didn't make you go use this heavy gorilla snot, donkey ass butter prep that people run. The race promoters didn't demand you run that. The racer did. Racers abused a certain product in the beginning that was made as a groove starter. They just kept running it. We'll just keep adding more, put more, 5 coats, 6 coats, heat the tire till it's about to turn into the surface of the sun. Then it goes out there and it lays down for 25 foot. Where most people struggle, they come off that 25-foot pad of Velcro, the racetrack goes away instantly.
Yeah.
So because you've got so much power to overcome all the bullshit that's on the racetrack, now you've knocked the tire off because you went from a grip level of 10 to a grip level of, let's say, 5 or 4. Yeah. So you're just wicked way up. So these are all history lessons. So what do the other prep manufacturers do? Well, they're trying to make a product like said product. And then it's an arms race to see who's going to damn do the best. So now we've got people that are blowing ESCs. You've got local events. There's an area chapter around me. They had to run a double header. They had 24 racers the first race, 17 the next, because 7 of them didn't have no more ESCs. And that's not 100 person or 200 person or 300 entry race.
Right.
So we can, and I don't have a problem with people wanting to run unlimited prep if that's what they want to do. There's going to be races that are unlimited prep. There's also going to be races that are spec prep. It's going to be one of those wait and see. People are going to get the average guy. Let's just talk about the average racer that maybe isn't. Jordan travels a lot. I travel a lot. There's other guys that travel a lot. There's other racers that don't have a deep pocket. They can't go afford to pop an ESC every weekend.
Right. Agreed.
So you can't. So a guy that's popping a $300 ESC every weekend is going to get out of it. So when we had a talk, the board talked about what we wanted to do about prep. We seen what happened up in Michigan. It went off, I feel, decently. Jordan was there. Maybe Jordan feels differently about it, but there's not a lot of people that were screaming, I got stuck and blew my ESC up. That's the knee jerk. So we're having to do something to combat the killing of electronics, is what it boils down to.
Right.
Or if you do get stuck, and Jordan knows what I'm talking about here since he races, sometimes you've had the radio outrun the car and make you crash because you get stuck for a tenth of a second, Billy.
Yeah.
And we're such on edge with these cars in the heavy prep. When the radio tune outruns the ESC tune, the next thing you know, the car's looking back at you. So we decided on the board, and I just so everybody knows about the board. If you don't know who's on the board for the Clash of Titans series, it's the Outlaw Drag Outlaws RC.com. That is myself, Steve Rule, James Cannon, Mike McCutcheon, and Vernon Dean. There is a Custom Works team driver. There is an R1 team driver. There is a GFRP team driver. There's
Nice.
a racetrack owner.
We got left out.
He got left out.
There's,
They left you out, Jordan.
There's 4 race promoters that actively run a chapter. So
Nice.
there's
Okay.
a lot of involvement in all that.
That's good to know.
It.
I didn't know that. That's really good to know.
Right.
I actually did not know that. I mean, I should, but I didn't know that you had different teams on there, different guys from different teams.
Right. So you have Steve with Custom Works, Vernon with R1, me with GFRP.
Okay.
James Cannon runs JC.
Yep.
Okeechobee Raceway. Vernon Dean has a chapter. James has a chapter. Mike McCutcheon has a chapter. I have a chapter, and Steve Rule does a excellent job of keeping us all together with points and write-ups and stuff like that. So, also, I'm a get stuck driver. So let me preference that, and let me also preference this right here. The one thing that each and every one of us do on that board is when we start talking about race decisions, our sponsors or affiliations have absolutely jack squat to do with it. It is what is best for the racer, not what is best for one of us. We believe in the theory of we're going to do what's best for the masses, not the one or the few. We're not going to appease one person. We're trying to do what's best for everybody. So I want everybody to realize it's a tough conversation on my end, with certain people that's on my team that make prep. It's not an easy conversation to have when you choose another prep. But
sure.
per se, I also got a lot of feedback before we ever made a decision of, certain teams are going to push for certain preps because they're affiliated with them. So you get all this mixed into one.
Yep, and Tommy, wait, Tommy, you can see that though too. You have to understand something, and if you heard what Jordan said earlier, he's not a get stuck guy. So
exactly,
in the problem with him, he's going into the Cavetowne meltdown, and they changed they changed their rule. I agree with him, but I'm going to disagree at the end of this, and I'm going to tell you, Jordan, why you should come to the Cavetowne meltdown. Go ahead, Tommy.
So
you're there.
All that being said, everybody, and I ain't asking for no sympathy, because if you look in the dictionary, I can tell you where sympathy's at. And here's the way it works. We chose TAR for a couple of strategic reasons. Mike has been a supporter from day one of the Clash of Titans, from the first one, from the first time we ever started this series 2 years ago. Okay. Here, take that back. I got it on here. Keep trying to think while I'm eating. So there's that. Mike is what I would say doesn't have an affiliation with nobody. Mike's not predominantly GFRP. He's not predominantly R1. He's not predominantly Custom Works. He's not predominantly 5-star. He's just Mike is Switzerland. Okay. Mike's product works. Mike's product will run as good as original Get Stuck. Plus, the comment was made. all people are going to do is just going to be the Get Stuck Nationals. Everywhere we go, it's just going to be get stuck, get stuck, get stuck. I do not believe that should be the way it should be, and I'm going to tell you why.
I agree.
If you have a race in an area and Joe Blow Tire Prep Company that's reputable now, that is a key word for me, reputable and credible, is a tire prep manufacturer. And they've been in the game and they have a product that will work. Why would you not try to use them? Now, I get it. People's going to say, well, because somebody's got an advantage. So I'm going to throw this all in all these tuners laps right now. I know I'm going to get burned at the stake for it, but that's okay. All I hear about is tune to the racetrack. I can tune anything. I can do this. I can do that. Well, you know what? It doesn't seem like that's the truth with a lot of them. All I hear about is I can do it. I can do it. Then you put a condition on them in which they would be able to use their tuning prowess to be able to show how good they are. And the people that's trying to save the sport are the ones getting drug out in the damn road and run over because they're trying to do something for the majority, not the elite. The elite have to understand something. If all 20 of us want to go run one another, that's what it's going to be in about a year. There's going to be nobody left. It'll be done.
I disagree on that, but go ahead.
I mean, people don't want to travel to burn stuff up.
Completely understand.
There's not a lot of people that have the money to do what we do.
I get it.
Because I mean, I'm several tens of thousands in this year. I don't even want to say the number. I don't want to admit it. Chloe may be watching.
Hey, listen, hold on, wait. Hey, Jordan, I can vouch for Jordan because he's at every damn race that I'm at.
It's rough. So it's one of those that, I honestly believe that if we can't get the cost of, now airlines aren't going to give us plane tickets cheaper. Hotels aren't going to give us hotels cheaper. But if we can't get the cost from the manufacturers to subside a little bit, I think you're going to have an issue with it no matter what you do. $3,000 to build a toy car, for the parts, ESC, first one you build, you got to have a radio, you got to have the battery. So the first car is going to cost you close to $3,000. There's not a lot of people that are willing to do that. I mean, we're a select group of unintelligent human beings playing with toy cars that cost $3,000.
I agree with that, Jordan. But like, what we have to do is, and through some classes like Real Street, Pro Streets, and stuff, whatever the dry tire movements be, whatever people are trying to get a softer cushion to step in, we need a stepping stone class or two.
Exactly.
Somehow. We can't. They get into that, and then they look over at us and go, Jesus Christ, he just burned up $600 in electronics this weekend, and I'm over here running my dry tire car just up and down the road like ha 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 ha. So
you, Tommy.
That's the problem.
Okay.
You can't serve somebody a steak and smear shit on the top of it and then like it. That's what we're asking right now. Jordan, is it right? Hey, I want you to spend $3,000 right here. I want you to spend $3,000, but I want you to know that you might have some $600 and $700 electronic weekends. People maybe don't necessarily mind the travel costs sometimes, but some people might not want to budget an extra $600 or $700 for an electronics bill.
I mean, at Utah, I went through 3 ESCs and 3 passes.
Ouch.
And, it's one of those that, Tommy, you're like I am. I mean, we expect it to happen at some point that, it seems like sometimes I can have an ESC last 6 months and sometimes I can't have it last 6 passes. Same tune, same everything that we've always done. It just doesn't hold up. And not throwing shade at Steve Villanueva in any way, but it's just what I've seen. And it's not just me that I've seen it from. But at the end of the day, you can get, carbon fiber from anybody that may have a bad spot in it too. So, I mean, I'm not throwing anything at that, but it's one of those that we've got to figure something out. And I think it needs to come from above on what we're going to do instead of the race promoters instead of Tommy Burgess and them having to make a call for this. Um, and that's one of the reasons that I'm kind of debating putting in for the NPRC committee is because I think that something needs to be said by them about prep rules. I think they need to come out with something. And I know right now, Matt and, and
Greg.
what's his name?
Bridgewater.
Greg. I know they're both overrun, and they can't come out with anything, just the two of them, because they'll be burned at the stake. And I don't
Well,
blame them for not wanting to make any
but
rules for
he,
3,000 people from two people. But at the same
well,
time, this needs to be addressed this off season, and we need to come up with something that works for. It's not going to work for everyone, no matter what we do. But if we can make it
yeah, I
work for
mean,
85%, and we can get a 15% growth, we still have the same amount. If we can get a 30 or 40% growth and just lose 15%, we've done our job. Um,
Let me.
and I commend, even though I give Steve a hard time and Tommy a hard time about going to the spec prep, I commend them for putting their neck out there, because they knew when they made that post that you were going to have 10 people say good job and
Yep.
25 people say
well,
throw them under the bus and run them over and back over them again.
what
And I
what
was
was
one of
funny
those guys that
about
said
that?
he wasn't appreciative of it. Um,
Well,
I
what
was. I mean,
well, well, what was funny about it was I told Steve, make sure you put the post out at 5 in the morning, so it'll be further down the feed, so we'll get a little bit of buffer. I said I don't want to. I go to work early. I'd like a couple of hours not to get my head chopped off. But I
That's a
mean,
great idea.
for the most part, to be fair, I think a lot of racers voiced their displeasure, most of them in a respectful manner. That's a different type of tone than what we have seen lately.
True.
Lately, it has been the flying monkeys jumping on the scarecrow, the way people do on the internet. And number one, I despise that to death. I don't mind if you mad, be mad, but say, like, there's a way to be mad. There's a way to say, man, this is why I don't agree with it. But it was a decision that we pondered over it, and then we made a decision and wanted to put it out as quickly as possible for two reasons. Jordan Farrow has roughly 9 weeks to test. Tommy Burgess has 9 weeks to test. Everybody that's going to the Clash of Titans has 9 weeks to test. I've offered up any assistance with that brand of prep they want. Mike has done the same thing. And here's what all you got to remember: because you're not running in a mud bog, you don't have to leave at 60 as your first dot in the ESC.
Yeah.
That's why, if you want to know the truth, and I wish, I'd love to be able to talk to Steve about the mechanics of an ESC. It's like what we do to the ESCs at some of these racetracks is like going out in your truck that's been sitting outside in the winter for a week and ain't crunk up. Put the damn gas pedal on the floor and hit the ignition, and wonder why the bitch rattles when it fires up. Ah, pow! Well, that's what you're doing. I tell you right now, if everybody and the racers are the ones that's caused this problem, so the racers are going to help solve it. If everybody, and you can't have a gentleman's agreement on prep. I'll go ahead and tell you that right there. You know what a gentleman's agreement gets you? Somebody feels like a porcupine because they've had that many run in them when they're done, because they got screwed.
Yeah.
That you can't do that. There can't be a gentleman's agreement. It has to be a way to tech it. And trust me, we've sat down, some of us, and tried to figure out how could you really tech prep? Because I can make the most hated prep in America right now pass the popsicle stick test, pass every test you want. The only test it won't pass is if you heat that stuff up at the line, it'll turn back into snot.
Yep.
That's the only thing left that we haven't done. We
Yep.
haven't took heat away.
Yep.
And another thing, I got both y'all here. Here's a good question. This is an argument that I've started in some of my chats. If you go to a race and the fastest ET for that race is a 158, 159, but nobody gets stuck, it's good, close racing, people aren't burning stuff up left and right, is that a bad race because we didn't set a national ET? Is that how we decide? ETs is how we decide good or bad races now? because that seems to be what people are using as a measuring stick.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're using your ETs as a measuring stick. I agree with you, dude. Listen, I completely agree. You guys got to understand something, Tommy and Jordan. I travel more than both you guys. I'm at all this stuff, and I've seen it all. I've seen it all, Tommy, Jordan. So my next question to you is this. Why not a full prep track? Tommy.
Full prep racing is fine. It's
Okay.
not for the masses, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah, please. I want to know why.
At a chapter level, we're running, most of us are in public areas, and we're not able to, desecrate those places like that. My chapter runs in the parking lot of a recreational football field. We have a good place to run. They're not going to let me spray, VHT down. If you have a dedicated place, a true racetrack, you can do what you want, like at Garland's. You can get away with it down there because that's what they like. I ran on a prep track. It's about spooky to run on a prep track with a no prep car. Everybody talk. I mean, I love my little pro mod, but man, they move. They will move.
Yes, they do.
So, yes, that's a way to go. But at a local club level, that's the problem. That's the holdback at that level. There's no holdback at a national level where you can rent a property or have a purpose-built place and go race. There's not a problem doing it. But then again, you don't want somebody putting that heavy, damn donkey butter on the racetrack.
I got it.
Either.
But listen.
So my take on how to judge whether or not, going back to the comment Tommy said, man, honestly, my favorite race I've been to is Dallas. I mean, fastest pass I made was a 56, but I won. I made faster passes. I made faster passes in Michigan. Didn't like the race. I went out in the first round. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, how do you want to gauge whether you like a race or not? Right. I paid $1,500, $1,200, something like that to go to Michigan. Dallas, I drove down there. We raced and we drove back the next day. We didn't stay in a hotel or nothing. So it's one of those that, to me, Dallas was a lot better trip. And it was, there's no doubt that that prep was thick in Dallas. I don't think it was exactly what some people want to say it was, but and then on the full prep track thing, I don't have anywhere to do that. Like,
I got it.
So if I went to don't get me wrong, okay. Tommy, I'm like you. I think we can figure it out in a weekend. But is it too late in the weekend when we figure it out? And we have to throw away one trip to make the next one, a fun one. Because
I have a question.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I think I have a valid freaking question right now.
Go ahead.
Aren't you two professional race car drivers? You gotta listen.
No, I'm a professional janitor.
No, you're not, Tommy. I've seen you race. I've seen what you do, Jordan. I see. You guys could figure this out in a day if you wanted to. So don't.
Man, I'm just good for comic relief.
I'm not going to hear that from you two because if you are a professional driver, hold on. Because I've seen both of you two, Jordan, you can figure out that prep to be your ass down in Catvetown Meltdown, and everybody else that's starting to boycott and shit on the Clash of the Titans, just figure it out. Mike Bush is trying to help you guys by giving you a discount. Am I right or wrong by saying that?
No, you're right.
Because I'm going by what my wife said. Hopefully she's right.
I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go to the Clash. I'm going to not test between now and then because with getting married, building the house, moving, all that, I'm really going to be struggling for time. So what races I do get to go to, I'll be fortunate for what races I do get to go to. So testing probably ain't going to happen. Although we're going to have a test session the day before the wedding. Anybody that's coming to the wedding, get here as early as possible. Let's do this.
I didn't get my invitation, dude.
Yeah, you got one. Don't worry.
Lost in the mail.
But it's one of those that I believe that Mike Bush is so straight up and such a good guy that he would give me every trick he knows about it to help make it at as level a playing field as he can make it. Because that's who Mike is. Mike, I've never heard a bad word about Mike Bush said. Um, he taught me quite a bit in Michigan in just 6-12 hours, and it wasn't even something that I was really expecting him to help me with or anything like that. His knowledge is very vast. And I was very appreciative to it. Some of that went into the tune. Ryan's helped me a lot with tunes, Ryan Clay.
Yeah. Yep.
Devin, I guess. She's all right at times.
You can't say
Love you, Devin.
that.
It's one of those that he, he's taught me a lot about tuning. And then me and him and Mike were talking, and Mike had some different thoughts and theories about what it takes to make an even better tune. Some of that was implemented in my Dallas run. They weren't the fastest passes, but at the end of the day, I'll take 67 for a win any day of the week.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing about it, you have, and there's everybody that has the 4 top manufacturers of cars: Custom Works, R1, GFRP, and CW, and 5-star. All those people have somebody that has experience with tar. Ryan Clay, in your instance.
Yep.
Nick Bell and me have run it. Steve and Max and Josh Sherrill and Rick Talbot have run it for CW. R1. Let me put it this way: there's a lot of closet tar people that don't want nobody to know they run it.
Closet tar.
I promise you, there's a lot of. If Mike was to put out the list of who's bought tar, some people's mouth would drop. But so people, it's not that it hasn't been out there. Mike doesn't go out there, and he openly admitted in a Facebook post that he doesn't go out there and beat the bushes on social media like others. He sells his 30, 40, 50 bottles of prep a week, and he's got RC car racing is Mike's second job, not his first job. So right. Mike's busy at work. He comes home, he fills orders and stuff like that for BBM, his online drag shop, bbmperformance.com. So, Mike's not one of those people that'll do that. So and if prep rotates, then everybody can't sit there and say, well, it's catering to this group, it's catering to that group, it's whatever. Adaptation is a great thing. All these people claim to know. Vince, of all people, old South Vince Durham posted something. He says, guys, put your 1.8 tune in it, make a lick. Come back, oh, it held it. Let's go try to go 1.7. Make that lick. Oh, it held it. Let's put our 1.6 in it. Everybody's got all these tunes built up. Everybody acts like this is brand new. I just showed up to Radio Shack and got my car. No, that's not how this works.
So y'all mean y'all have tunes saved?
Yeah, we write them down on
you gotta teach me
that. Yeah, the Dead Sea Scrolls. Dead Sea Scrolls, Jordan. So, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody at our level, these tuners, and you've got all these tuners that online support. You've got all these groups, teams that race together. We've all got knowledge. It's not going. It's scary because we haven't done it. Frank's race proves it works. Once we get a couple of these behind us and the stigmatism of being made to do something, that's part of it. I run outlaw, blah, blah, blah. I'm an outlaw. No, you're not. You can't run unlimited voltage. You got to run such and such tire. There ain't nothing about this outlaw no more, guys. We're spec pro rubber tire drag car racing is what we are. That's what it boils down to. So I mean, everybody can get pissed off at me. I can feel the arrows about to burn my house down right now, but it call it what it is. There ain't nothing outlaw about it no more. It's professionally organized pro rubber tire drag racing. That's what it is. And
but it's gotten out of hand, man. This cool thing that we do every other month or whatever it's awesome, but We got to figure something out. I actually talked to Mark Vine Monday, I think, about something else, and I said, hey, listen, I'm going to be going live this week. I said, this prep thing's a problem, and he knows it. Tommy, Jordan, we've got to you've got to include everybody in this.
Yes.
We can't just make decisions, okay, and hopefully it's going to stick. This is what I'm doing with my new Sand Drag Association. I'm giving you guys, we posted our rules today, and you know what we did? We went live and said, what do you guys think about it? What do you want to change? It has to be, we've got to do this as a community, as a group, if it's going to work, dude. Because listen, 2024 is off the charts in my book. Because when I announce what we're doing on September 1st, I'll be honest, I don't want to announce it because I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, okay, I agree with what you say, Billy, but I want you to think about this.
Okay.
The same thing you're asking, the same people you're asking to be involved in fixing all this,
okay,
are the same people that ran this car off in the ditch.
I understand.
And now you've got a group of people that are willing to go and be judged on Facebook, called every name in the book for free, I might add.
Yeah,
nobody on the Clash of Titans gets a penny, the board. And we're trying to help do something. Now, what I would tell people is, for all these solutions and all these races that we see come up, and you see a promoter implement something, we need, after November, we need to look at that. Which races did good? What races did bad? What procedures did good? What, tech did good? Everything. And try to come up with a formula instead of running like damn house cats when somebody damn throws a rock and trying to figure it out. We should be thinking, you know what? Okay, this is what I liked about the Clash of Titans. This is what I liked about the Michigan race. This is what I liked about Cavetown. This is what I liked about another couple races. This is what wasn't good at Michigan. This is what wasn't good at Titans. Okay, what can I do to eliminate the holes? What caused those holes in it being what it needs to be?
And
that side of it.
But don't you agree though, guys? You kept saying, all these the drivers were the ones that caused this, right, Tommy? That's what you said earlier,
Yep.
right? But I think but don't you think now that the drivers are like going, because it's costing so much money on these weekends, these ESCs ain't cheap? I mean, what I'm asking you is
yes and no.
Don't you think that these guys they love what they're doing and they want to fix it too? Because if we don't fix this as a whole, it is going to go away. You have to do it as a whole. You have to.
So I think that the drivers need some input on it, but at the end of the day, you can't allow us as drivers to make every decision because we are the ones that created the problem.
Yeah.
We do need to be allowed to have. Yeah, we need to have some input.
Wait. What did you say about the convicts?
The convicts can't run the jail. You can't let the prisoners run the jail.
Hey, hold on a damn second. Do you not watch Suits? They let you do it in Suits, damn it.
Oh, you're Harvey Specter, I swear.
But yeah.
It's one of those that there's going to be a lot of feelings hurt in it. There's going to be a lot of people that throw a fit about it.
Yep.
I mean, you can see Cam Neve's post. You can see Nick Freeman's post. I was not happy, and I'm still not happy that the Clash race went to a spec prep race. Nothing against Mike Bush once again. I don't know his product. I'm sure it works. I know Mike. He wouldn't put it out if it didn't. But it wasn't what I signed up for to host a race to get to go to the race.
I get it.
And I understand that, things happen as the year progresses. But I think we have to really watch how slippery a slope we get on with this changing things, because what if all of a sudden we get to a race, not saying somebody would do this, and this is a far reach, but, you get to the race and all of GFR, let's just pick on GFRP because Tommy's here and he can back it. or 5-star shows up, and we're all running 3S batteries, and we've all been testing on it for 6 months, and nobody knew that we were going to run 3S batteries at this race, and now we're running unlimited prep and 3S batteries because it's not blowing ESCs. It's a slippery slope on what we can change and what we can't change, how close to the race we do it. Because like in Ohio, I'm not trying to pick on Erica. I love her. I know she's watching. Love you, Erica. But we agreed. I thought she was coming in when you did that.
Yeah, I was like, uh-oh, watch your
I
mouth.
was like, well, here we go. She come in.
I should have brought her in. I think she's working today.
We didn't agree to run OG prep the whole time. The first time we made the agreement, it was for practice. And then the day of the race, it come to another vote, and it turned into the day of the race also. And it's a slippery slope because you get things changing at the last moment, and this isn't necessarily what people signed up for, and you're pot committed, of course, because you've got 3 days in an Airbnb, you got the travel, you flew in, all this. You're not going to not race because of it, but it's going to make you leery to go to another race. Billy was talking last week about people not signing up for the Catvetown meltdown.
Yep.
Well, during the live Poetic Justice, during the live of complaining about people not signing up, the race changed. So when that race changes, do you get the option of a refund? Do you not? It's one of those. It's not much money. I mean, $25 to any of these guys that are traveling to these races is no money.
Right.
We've got more than that, and we've got more than that in wire on the car, screws on the car. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not the money side of it. It's just the principle of it is, I think you need to run a race how it's advertised, whether that's at the point in which that race gets here, it's the wrong thing or not. If that's what you advertised and you've already allowed signups or people to qualify for it, I believe that's what the race should be run as, because that was what everybody signed up for. And at the point in which the races for the Clash started.
Wait. Hold on, Jordan. I agree with you, but I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to tell you why. Dude, it's getting too expensive with these ESCs, man.
I understand.
I think Alex and Nate and you guys understand something. Erica is the one that's going to be helping down there. So that was that team that did that.
Right.
I think it's for the good, but I agree with you, Jordan.
I'm not saying it was a bad move. I'm saying
you sign up for a race.
If you sign up for a race, it needs to be the race you signed up for.
But I'm going to disagree with you on Alex's race. I think what's going to happen, Tommy will agree with this, I hope, from here on out, the new races are going to have, whether they're going to run the spec prep or whatever they're going to do, because you guys are heard loud and clear right now. And if anybody's going to put on a race next year, a.k.a. Erica, we'll throw her on the burner. Whatever rules you have when you announce your race, I agree with you. Stick with it, but we're uncharted territories right now, right, Tommy?
I agree in principle with what both of you say. I understand Jordan's point of view that maybe people's opinion of participation in the Clash of Titans series races would have changed based upon the thought process of a spec prep being implemented.
Yeah,
we didn't know in January the carnage we would see this year.
Exactly.
So we had to be fluid, and we had to do it.
What race did we seen the most carnage in NPRC history? Billy, you know it.
I'm going to say Erica's at 37. Well, hold on. You say carnage or you say ESCs? Carnage is king of the Smokies.
Let's go ESCs. Let's talk about.
Hey, Foster's not here to defend. Wait. Foster's not here to defend himself. Carnage is the king of the Smokies.
The most magic smoke, we'll call it. Was it straight line last year?
Oh, see, I wasn't there, and I don't know. I can tell you 37 ESCs.
I heard over 100 at straight line.
Wow.
No, I call bullshit on that.
That's just what I
I
was
do
told.
know that.
But
I
I know
would
at Michigan there
think
was 3 from one guy.
so.
got
Okay, hold on. Now, when you talk about one individual, if 3 individuals blow an ESC, if
yeah,
one guy blows 3 ESCs, and I don't know who it is, don't
yeah.
take it wrong, there was something out of kilter
Agreed.
with that individual and his program.
If I tell you
I
his
don't care.
name, he's
It
fast.
doesn't.
I was gonna say,
It doesn't. It don't matter. I don't give a shit if it was Frank Ulbrich. I would say, Frank, you were leaning on the shit too hard.
yeah,
You know.
Um,
So I'm not. I don't. If one guy burns a bunch of stuff up, you can't say. I don't think that's a definite thing. If you have
I
a
agree.
straight line last year, I would say an easy 35, 40 ESCs. But
I I
we,
wasn't there,
I
but I
wasn't
was
either.
told the number that, if I'm not mistaken, come from information that Scotty got was it was over 100 total, which doesn't mean
so
they've
I
all burned up at the line. You know how that
well,
goes.
I'll say this. I'll say
First
this
one I
about
ever
that.
burned up was on the table.
Knowledge of tuning after that race changed.
Yeah.
People understood start power. They understood how to start using the ESC mapping and stuff like that. Before, honestly, a lot of us were just coming out of the damn caves. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Me racer, me race now. We didn't
Yeah,
have all the customization and didn't understand some of the adjustabilities that we should have known. So I consider straight line last year a growing pain of the sport. This year, man, all we done, there's a lot of racetracks. You see for 10 foot, you just see this solid strip of like pancake syrup. And it's like, I hear some guys, well, you ain't got to set your car in it. Well, then you set your ass over there on the bare road and you're going to knock your tires off too. Except you're not going to burn an ESC up. That's the only difference.
Steve Vero in Utah set up outside the groove against Mark Vine, who also set upside the groove, and neither one of them knew the other one was doing it. Steve did not go back in the groove and got second. After watching that, I was very impressed. I was like, "You made a
Well,
great move
that
there." It was gutsy because whenever Mark
so
did it,
so
we all told him he'd lost his mind.
so. But what is okay, Jordan? Thank you for bringing that up. You're going to prove a point for me right there. That tells you about the level of cat shit prep that we have now. You can set up on a bare road and go make a damn killer hit and win. That's my point right there.
thanks, Jordan.
When you're using, when you're using shit that'll hold a damn 747 up off the Empire State Building, that's what. It's not that Steve, he made a great run. He was smart. He says, I know my tire prep. I know I can use this super glue pretty much, and I'm going to be able to go run about this number. I think this is what I need to do to win. Okay, he wouldn't have to do that if he wasn't putting donkey butter on the damn tires. That's the point. The point of it is because his use of that style of prep would allow him to function that way, the multiple people using that same cat shit prep was the problem. People are going to have to don't blame the drugs. It's the drug addict's fault. If you misuse a product, you get shit results. We're going to have to accept that part of it. Now, if people don't want spec prep races, you have a couple options. Dry tire, prep the whole racetrack like what Billy's talking about. Marcus spoke to it.
Or Duke of the Box Stock.
Or Duke of the box stock.
There you go.
So you got
We got it.
dry tire.
The next
We just run Duke of the Box
$25,000
Stock. We just run Duke of the Box Stock all year.
Solve world hunger. So you got dry tire. You've got that. You got a whole prep track. You've got spec prep. And then what's the fourth option?
Don't go.
Split the lane.
Well, I'm not. I'm going to tell you why I'm not a fan of splitting the lanes. Well, if I want to run my prep, what if I want to be on this side of the crown of the road, not that side? Why are you putting me over there?
I mean, at the end of the day, if I put you in the right lane, if you don't want the right lane and it randomizes you into there, you ain't got a choice either.
But
right.
I mean, that's my thing is it's one of those that there's a lot of things that are out of our control. I understand people don't want to suck the lanes down to 5 foot because that would be too realistic. And what we're doing is not. Everybody can say, well, that's not like real cars. You're right. It's not. But,
The
how
fact you're
many,
not in it means a lot to
yeah,
driving it. Your
yeah, I mean,
hand-eye coordination versus feeling the ass.
yeah, if, let's be honest, we wouldn't send our cars on some of the passes we sent them on, such as me versus you at straight line when I told you, if it goes, I'll set a new NPRC record. It's not going to
Yeah,
go, but if it does, you'll never forget it. I
right,
mean, it's one of those that, like, I wouldn't do that in a big car because I don't have that big of a death wish. Um,
right.
you know,
We
um,
ain't gonna get the foam knocked out of the helmet. We're not gonna do that if we're sitting in it. But
Hey,
we'll do.
oh,
But we will do some bad stuff if we're not in the car.
let,
exactly.
I got a question for both of you, and I'm gonna go. We'll go Jordan on this one. Jordan,
All right.
you were at Super Chips, correct?
Yep.
Okay. What what was so wrong about what we did at Super? I say we. What Jared and Greg did at at Super Chips, and then Tommy, the same goes to you after Jordan.
Okay.
Nothing. I went deep in that race. It was a great race to run like that every time.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's one of those that it's hard to it's hard to give an unbiased opinion on that because I did well at that race. If I had went out the first two rounds, like Michigan, I might look at it a little differently. But
Nah, see,
it's
you
one of
can't
those
do
that.
that, dude. You can't do that.
It,
You can't do
but I'm a
that.
racer. I'm a racer. I like
I
any
know.
race that I win. It was the best race ever. I don't care if it was dry tire, guys. If I win, I like it.
I get it.
um, I was there a problem with prep there? Um, there were some puddles. There's no doubt. I've seen a lot of cars get stuck. Um,
Okay.
but I feel like a lot of the getting stuck is more than just ESC tuning. That's
Okay.
the thing that nobody wants to talk about. James Penson's car got stuck at Wisconsin a few times. Couldn't get it out of the groove. He could set it down outside of the groove, it'd go dead straight. We did a change on the rear end. Took some longer shocks off, put some shorter shocks on, stiffen the rear end up a little bit, and it goes right down Broadway. Um, so it's one of those that there's a lot of suspension adjustments that can be made to help this also. And I mean, hell, in a week or so, you'll be able to buy a kickstand. Don't kill the kickstand sales now. Let's pro prep that stuff,
Tommy,
bro. Come on.
Tommy, is this an infomercial?
That's right.
And wait, there's more.
Wait. There's more.
But
Wait a
wait,
second.
there's
Is
Wait,
more.
there's more.
Don't have them for Apollos.
Is David
Yeah,
Lawson
I mean,
texting you right now?
so yeah, Jordan brings up a good point.
Okay.
The type of chassis tuning that I'll do to run locally is a little bit different than what I do at a bigger racetrack because I know the grip level comes up. So there is some knowledge there. Do I think you can change the shocks and springs and oil and stop a car from just turning into a fireball on the start line? No, it's a whole package deal. The
Yeah.
question is, but now to the original question of Tulsa, what did I think about it?
Yeah, Tommy,
It
I
was
want your opinion.
It was a step in the right direction, and it works. It works at a race where you have enough people to make it work.
Yeah.
So at a smaller race, you might only need two groups. Okay, like a 40-car, 50-car race, two groups. You go to Tulsa where it's just a whole slew of people, looks like the circuit got lit out.
Right.
You can do that. You can get away with things like that. So that's what I'm talking about. At the end of the year, that group of people, whoever you decide you want to have this prep caucus with.
No. You're going to be in that prep talk, and so is Jordan. 100%.
So we need to, you take all these notes. Hey, this is what Tulsa did in X, Y, and Z. And this is where we've talked and had these discussions about what's going to happen.
Yep.
Tulsa, I made a few rounds. I liked it. I liked the effort. The fact that we're trying to do something, we may not be correct, okay? We may not. I hope that everybody that's coming to the Clash of Titans or goes to any spec prep race understands that the race promoter is trying to help save the hobby you like doing.
Yeah.
Now, you may not agree with the prep, or you may not agree with the ideology of splitting lanes or whatever. So, and that's okay. I encourage those people to sit down and try to help be part of the solution. Don't just bitch us to death,
Yeah.
because let's all have an open forum. Hey, hey, I had an idea. Get in contact with Mark Vine. Get in contact with you. Get in contact with me. Whoever. Let your ideas be heard, and don't
I'm
and
busy.
people don't need to ridicule those people's ideas. If somebody comes up with an idea that you're like, if it won't work, walk through why it won't work, or
Yeah.
walk through the hurdles of what will make it hard. That be an adult, be respectful, stuff like that. There's no such thing as a stupid idea. There's only stupid idea there is the one you don't think about or even try. So if we're trying something, we're trying to save it. I hope, and another thing, I hope everybody genuinely realizes it was not the easiest decision for some of these promoters, and I can speak to our board, to go
Yeah.
spec prep. We
Right.
knew what would come, but I hope everybody understands we're doing it because we want to give each and every racer the best experience. When you're a race promoter, you're not selling a race, you're selling an experience. People's wives come with them, they bring their children, they might say, hey, let's go a day early, we want to visit the sites in this city or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
selling, it's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we have to be mindful. I hope everybody realizes that all we're trying to do is keep this thing going because we love it.
Yep.
We're eat up with the dumb because we love it so much. We're just plumb eat up with it. And all I want to do is see that it's next year we come up with a way to control this. There's either you do away with tire prep or you figure out a way to control it. That's where we're going to be. I hate to tell everybody, dry tire is going to make a comeback next year. You're going to see more dry tire events. I don't know if it's going to be real street or if it's going to be outlaw dry tire. I don't know the formats. I'm just saying there's too many people excited about dry tire. Prime example, the other week I was in Georgia. Guys with outlaw cars said, hey, I won't put no prep on my tires. I want to run Trailer Park Mafia. They wanted to run my Little Red Eye Rock because they'd seen it in Wisconsin. They knew it was decently fast. They wanted to see if they put their full outlaw car against me, what they could do. I didn't care if I won or lost. It got them people interested in racing, and that's what we have to do. We have to keep the attention of the racer as promoters and as people in these sanctioning bodies. Another thing Jordan brings up that we overlooked, Billy. Jordan said we need an organization
I know.
to
I
to
get it.
be almost NASCAR-like. NASCAR doesn't let the teams dictate this and all that. They have a grander view, a
I get
broader
it.
spectrum they look at. So I think that would help.
We, I know it's becoming I know I keep talking about it, but I'm going to continue, Tommy. I started my sand drag association.
Mm-hmm.
I did it because of NPRC. I'm going to be really honest with everybody. When Curtis called me last weekend and he's like, man, listen, this sand drag thing's pretty cool, man. It doesn't have rules. It's got rules. Yeah. I mean, but we're trying to accomplish what you just said over there. I don't want to come in but one thing I don't want to do, Tommy, is I don't want to go, here's our rules and this is what we're doing and deal with it. Because what we're doing over there is me, Curtis, and the other two admins that we're going to be bringing in as our committee, we're going to give back to the racers. So not only are we asking for their opinion, we want them to have their opinion, but if you want to use I gotta stop saying mine, our organization, our RCSDA, we're getting to a point, Tommy, and I'm going to say this over here because over there those guys don't quite know how much I do with this live stuff. They're not watching me right now, okay? But with that being said, we're as an organization, we're actually we want you to run our name, our rules, everything that we're doing, and what we're going to do for you in return is we're going to give you first through third trophies. If you run our organization name, we're going to send you the trophies to give away at your event. But there's something else that we're working on, and I got to be quiet on that one. It's called insurance. I'm not going to be quiet. We're working on, if you run with us under our name, we're working on where you're going to have insurance at your event too. I didn't mean to get off track, but I'm trying to do the same.
No,
I'm trying to
that's
do this over there because I've seen what goes on over here. Does that make sense?
So, so we have a lot of what I said about organization goes back to, we've got how many different race promoters, whatever. That's great. But if January 1st we had a schedule for the next 6 months, there's people that aren't self-employed like myself who can't just say, "Hey, they're throwing on a cash days in Dallas that I heard about 3 days ago. I'm
Yeah,
going."
I get it.
Or a race a week apart or 2 weeks apart. If we could get it to where, look, we're going to have one big race a month. Here's those 12 races. Now, anybody else can throw up any race they want. Not saying nobody else can have a race, but, it would be nice for these guys that work for other people to be able to plan. There's a guy that races with me in St. Louis that literally has to put his um, vacation time in January 1st for the year. So it's one of those that I don't know how I couldn't work there because of that, but they probably wouldn't hire me. I'm a bad employee. But, it's one of those. That's why I got to be self-employed. It's one of those that he can't go to, he can schedule to go to like Super Chips because it's pretty well known what it's going to be. Um,
yep.
And some of the other races are pretty well known when they're going to be. But if we had a little bit better level of organization, where a race promoter has an issue, he's got a direct line of people that back him on it and say, "Hey, look, he made the right call." It goes a long way because there's times where I've had to make a call at a race at one of the class races that, the class says it's our race. You're hosting it. You're hosting your own race. It just has us affiliated with it. And there was a situation where I had to make a call, and luckily the same thing had happened to me the week before, and I made the call against myself. So it was easy for me to say, "Look, if I called it against myself this way, I got to call it against you that way." If I would have gave myself the benefit of that doubt, I'd had to give him the benefit of the doubt. But
Yeah.
Right.
So it's one of those that we don't have that fallback, except for through other race promoters and stuff like that. And if I call Tommy and say, "Hey, Tommy, what do you think about this call I made?" And Tommy says it's the right call, the guy that I made the call against may say, "I don't even like Tommy." you know, and so it's one of those that it is what it is.
Well,
It's not saying nobody doesn't like Tommy. I think everybody loves a janitor. But
I kind of
you know,
here's what I think about, and here's what we offered all the Clash of Titans guys. If you ran the race by the prescribed rule set we gave you, and somebody didn't agree with that, they could call me up, explain the situation. If Jordan, you went exactly by the hey X, Y, and Z like we said, we support you 100%. If
yep,
you kind of finagle your rule set a little bit or change the rules, and you get off in one of those areas that we kind of didn't want you to get off in, that you have to make a hard call on, we can't offer any guidance in that because we tried to come up with a set of rules. No rules package are bulletproof. There's always going to be something
yep,
that comes up.
Yep.
You go, damn, I didn't think of that.
Right. Agreed.
But we try our best to lay. If you'll first is worst, X Y Z, blah blah blah, yada yada yada, on down the line with all the rules that we laid out. We support that. That's that we will if they want to protest to the highest of the high, the board they protest if they want. I'm gonna say what was the situation. We're gonna do if we need to have an investigation or whatever, make a couple phone calls, find out. When we get all of the sides of the party, we lay it out. Boom. Guess what? We have never had to do that except one time in how points were tallied. It was a miscalculation last year by somebody, an honest mistake about how you counted points in a certain situation. That wasn't a malice intent, bad call, or nothing like that. So it's what Jordan says is true. Organization means a lot. How you handle your organization, insurance is huge. And I'm going to say this: there's going to be some race promoters out there listening, I'm sure. Please think about safety of your spectator. The guy pulling the trigger don't have to worry about safety unless the thing spits a couple teeth off the spur gear at him. The people down track are in grave danger at the speeds we run. I don't
Agreed.
think
Absolutely.
I agree.
if anybody was in Maumee and seen the trash can get TKO'd on the big end
Yeah, I did.
at full,
my camera was right beside it.
That killed an ice cream lady.
It scared the Taco Bell out of me. I was sitting over there talking to Max and Faith over in the CW pit. I was over there fellowshipping, and I hear kaboom! And I happened to just look left, and the trash can is still in the damn air, like that. I said, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
What if
Yeah,
that
but
would have been a 4 or 5 year old kid?
We watched two people
That's
get
what I'm
hit
telling
in two races. Erica's daughter got hit at Michigan. Luckily, she wasn't, hurt bad.
She did?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And then Marcus Talaman's got hit at Dallas. It happens. We're doing everything. Once again, it's like if we were in a big car, it wouldn't happen, but we're not. So we're going to send it. If it got a little wiggle in it, you let out in a big car. On this, you hold it in and try to drive it.
Right.
But he's okay. He's got an infection in the leg, but he's still kicking.
Holy crap!
It busted him open probably, I'd say 2.5 inches across the shins.
No kidding.
And and it ain't a good situation to get hit with these cars. Watched a young man, Akins. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yes, in
Utah.
I was just going to talk about him right now.
It seems like every race or every other race, I'm seeing somebody get hit.
Yeah.
And, I tell Landon goes with me to a lot of races. I tell him all the time, look, son, you can't play on the big end.
No.
That's not play zone. If you want to play up by the starting line, that's one thing. And we were pitted on the big end of Dallas. And I told him constantly, you cannot play out in front of the pits, son, because, the difference between it hitting Marcus's leg and hitting Landon in the head may be the difference in a funeral.
Exactly.
5-6 pounds at 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour,
it's going to wear you out.
You're liable not to recover from it. Real quick, Billy, I'm fixing to have to jump off here. My phone, I've had it on the charger the whole time, and it's still about to die.
Wait, don't go nowhere. Wait, don't go nowhere. I need Jordan. I need you and Tommy. Please listen to me. Brother, there's 1 million comments. 1 million. So if you guys don't mind, when you get time, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through every comment and put what I know and what I can. If you guys would do the same thing for me, that would be great. Just because we didn't get to everybody's comment, and there is a ton of them. All right, Jordan, you go.
Pick 3 or 4 of them. I'm good. Okay. Jordan might have to drop off because he didn't pay the electric
bill.
Real
quick, before I jump off, let me give the shout-outs I got to give before get my head hit. But,
congratulations to you winning Dallas. That's why you're even on
here.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, sir. Frank Greer, A to Z Traction, Monster Grip, Caldwell Wings, High Tech Servos, 5-Star Hobbies. Picked up a couple new ones after the race. Empire Batteries, Scuff Racing, also awesome tire sauce. It may be the best cleaner I've ever used. I know it's the best cleaner. I hadn't used it as a conditioner yet, but it worked great. People that aren't sponsors that, y'all could be if y'all just hit me up. Matt Ottman, Voodoo Tire, RC Speed Secrets, Macklin Motors, Raw Food Bodies.
Are you running for president?
No shame. Shame.
No shame at all, brother.
Tommy,
I spend enough on this that there ain't no shame anymore.
I love it.
Jeez. Teammates that I want to give a shout out to: Mark Vine, David Logston, Frank, Tony Ariano, Marcus Knight, Marcus Talamans, Zippy, Russell Clay. You need to get your ass back racing. Thank the wife and the soon-to-be wife and kids for supporting this. Without them, I couldn't do it. Um, they made more off this race than I did. I promise you that. um, and I gladly gave it to them because they sacrifice, you know, as much or more than I do for me to be able to do this, and I love it. And they sacrifice it because they love me.
Hey, Tommy, how do we pull up
Yeah.
the Oscars music where they try to get them off the stage?
Oh, Jesus. Just pulled the curtain on him. Fucking boot him. I mean,
Um,
Jesus.
but I wanted to tell JFab before I got off here. So I asked for unlimited prep in the finals, but I used the same prep and same tune I did the round before. I just needed you to turn up so y'all would spin because I felt like y'all were faster than me, and I didn't need you to get down. Love
Tommy,
y'all.
I thought Jordan was going to say I was the one that put the bad stuff on the left side or the right side.
Now we did run over top of release last Sunday. Everybody was using it but me. And I didn't have an issue with spinning at all. They didn't have any issue with spinning, so I don't really know. Um, so I don't know how much that release does or how much it doesn't do. I haven't tested it. But also want to thank Ryan Clay, Devin Clay. Y'all done a lot for me. Without y'all, I wouldn't be where I am. Jared Baker for taking a chance on me. In your words, you were the only one dumb enough to do it.
Good Tommy.
Appreciate y'all. And I'm gone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Later, Jordan. Congratulations. Oh my God, Tommy, he's got more sponsors than the goddamn NASCAR.
You would think he didn't say goodies, headache powders, Pepto-Bismol, Alka-Seltzer, Coors Light, none of that. I mean, I was waiting on all that, but hey.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, Tommy?
I think we have to let some of these ideas play out that people are trying, spec prep, lane alternation, split lane, stuff like that. We have to let it play out.
Yeah.
We have to go back and review it towards the end of the year, see what worked best, what did best, get some feedback, and at the end of the day, be willing to realize that not everybody's going to be happy with whatever decisions we make going forward. There's going to be somebody that sour grapes. I get it. I really do. I get it. Some people say, this isn't what I signed up for.
Yep.
But here's what I would say. If you want to be able to go race at larger events and have a crowd that wants, I don't know how many there was in damn Tulsa. It was 300 and something in Tulsa. I don't know, damn near 400 people. 400 entries, I should say.
Right.
At the rate we're going, that's not sustainable with the electronics graveyard that we've been making.
Agreed.
So once we figure out a way to do this and everything, and I'll say this. So they ran spec prep in Michigan. I think Travis Bernard went 142.
Yep.
On an OG, we consider OG style prep.
Right.
So maybe the next thing is that we start having spec prep races, but we offer a couple of different spec preps that we know will work together with one another. We have to
What's
test.
so wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it. I think right now any promoter that picks just a single spec prep is doing it out of fear of the unknown of what we just talked about. Okay. But we don't personally at the Clash of Titans, we don't know how Monster Grip, we don't know how Red Monster, BBM, Tar, OG Get Stuck, and Reaction Time. Those 5 right there. We don't know if you ran a race with that. We don't know how they'd all act together. I can tell you, I know one prep. If you prep your tires with one prep and run it over top of a predominant other prep track, you'll weld your damn car to the racetrack. I have witnessed it. So there's some preps you're trying to find that happy medium and playing together. Would you go to a race if they offered 4 spec preps?
Yeah.
Would you go to a race if they said no heat after tech? I'm not a
racer. I'm not a racer. I can't answer that.
So Mark Vine has a very good take on this, and I've said it for a while, and we're going to try it in my club. If you don't have a tire that's 200 degrees and the prep turning back to liquid, then you don't have prep transfer at the rate that you see currently.
Yeah.
So when everybody talks about webbing prep, I can take, and I sent a video of this to Scotty Ernst. I can take the prep that everybody cusses under their breath. I can put it on a tire, cure it, and I can pass a popsicle stick test. It won't web. It'd just be really tacky and sticky.
Till
But
you
it
heat
won't
it.
turn these. Then when if I go the line and I heat it, it
Till
turns
you
back into
heat
boogers.
it. Till you
So
heat
I
it.
think there's something. I think there's a way to run unlimited prep or open preps without the massive transfer. If we stop the massive amount of transfer, we're going to be okay. So it's something that we're going to all have to work together on, and we're going to be okay. And for the most part, there was some negativity around our decision from some racers, but there was a lot of positive people. And to all those people that were positive and had our back and had Mike Bush's back, thank you. The Clash of Titans Series board and the Clash of Titans Series racers that appreciate this, thank each and every one of you for that, because sometimes you are willing to take an ass whipping if you know it's for the better. And what we're trying to do is the better. And, it's going to be okay. I hope it's me and Jordan in the finals at the Clash of Titans. That way I can look over and now tell me about that spec prep again, since you like it. Because he correlates how good it is with how far he goes. So I need Jordan to go a bunch of rounds down there at the race. So, but, I'm good with it, Billy. I mean, okay. I'm blessed with it. I want to work and make this better and everything like that. Hey,
me too.
Guys, another thing, Billy puts on all these races, goes to these races. And Billy's always talking about the sponsors of races.
No. Billy don't put on no races. Billy live stream
races.
races.
You put on the coverage.
Thank you. Because people have been blaming me for these races, and I'm like, yeah, man, come on, man. I just live stream.
It's easier to blame you. You don't race.
Thanks, dude.
So I want everybody to think about it. So when you're calling out all these sponsors of these races, I don't care who it is. These are the people that support what we do.
Yep.
Make sure that you tell them thank you. Make sure, hey, try to buy from the places that sponsor these races, hobby shops.
Yep.
All these places like that do that. And, it's easy to get on the internet and be a boo bird. It's real easy.
Yeah,
but that's not going to get us anywhere. Yeah, I mean, we've all dealt with boo birds on the internet. Hell, I've been a boo bird at times. I get it. Was it the right thing? No. Does it happen? Yeah. But that's the easiest thing that we get to learn from. I think we're starting to see a movement where a mass of people are going, we have to do something.
Yep.
And yes, there's been some people, what's his name? Alex is putting on the catvetown. Is that his name?
Alex Morales. Yep.
Alex, if you're listening,
he is.
Don't back up. Don't feel bad. No, you're doing what you need to do to help the racer.
Okay.
Is it the end-all, be-all solution? We don't know yet. As a whole, we do not know. But the fact you're willing to do something to help somebody, they're not. I didn't understand everything when I was little that my daddy told me till I got older. We may not understand how good this is really going to be till we get a couple, 3, 4 races down and see what it means.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to do.
Well,
got any questions, Billy? Let them fill me. I know everybody wants to talk to us.
Brother, you got 1,000 questions, and I'm not going back to read those because I've got 16% battery left. But I'm gonna talk about a couple things really quick, okay?
Go ahead.
Just and listen, this is not NPRC. This is a friend of mine, you guys. So everybody, wildturbofan.com. Wildturbofan.com. Guys, go to this website, and there's a friend of mine that he's going to give you 5% off these fans today, tomorrow only, this week only. You got it. You got to do it now. Wild Turbo Fans. Let me make sure I get it right. Wildturbofan.com, right? Yep. And you're going to put in Daniel Hickson, Daniel, all one word, Hickson, Hixon. Anything that you buy from there, he gets a little piece of it, man. He's I hope he's okay. He's just struggling a little bit, man, and he's found something kind of help him, pay some bills and do some extra things on the side. And this is a side gig, and I told him I'd help him out the next time I went live. They got a new intelligent fan series that have reverse polarity protection, and as well as stop protection. So if a rock gets stuck in the fan, they won't fry. 5% off. Daniel Hickson, all one word.
Good fan, by the way. I used to run them in the dirt oval cars all the
Yeah,
time.
nice. Yeah,
Keeps
sweet.
the motors cool, keeps the SC cool. So I've used their product. It's quality product. It's probably one of the best fans on the market.
Thank you. Hey, that's our own infomercial.
Hey, I mean, we always hunting for what's the best. So
Now I'm gonna go back to something that Jordan said. He said
yeah,
if he knew what race next year was going to do what the rules were, whatever it is, right? I'm going to
yeah.
tell everybody watching and listening right now. September 1st is when some announcements are going to be made. Erica Del Grasso and myself we're doing a live just on 2024, Tommy. And
Okay.
I honestly believe in my heart of hearts, I think 2024 is going to be cool, man.
I
Just
I don't doubt that it won't be. I think that as people, human beings, we get tied into certain things and we don't want to change, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a little bit of people like, man, get off my lawn. That's what you're seeing a little bit of.
yeah.
So, but I think once, hey, the water's fine, guys, come on in, and you see people stick their toe in it a little bit. Well, it's not as bad as I thought.
Yeah.
That's all it's going to take. It's just going to take a little bit of attitude shift, and we'll be fine. And I mean, people don't realize how fast this blew up. Pan car racing didn't get to be this big overnight. Off-road wasn't this huge overnight. Nothing that has ever come onto the scene new has
You're welcome.
exploded like drag.
You're welcome.
Yes. I mean, live streaming stuff helped.
Come on, man. You got to give me a little credit.
Yeah, it was. I mean, hell, live streaming was like 1% of a tenth of what it was what got it really going. No, I mean, it was exposure. You can't hardly, like, realistically, if you want to go see off-road or you want to go see on-road or even pan car, you have to go to a couple of really not well-known outside of the industry. Facebook and people like yourself, Billy, using Facebook, the platform, to expose probably millions of people to this.
Yeah.
Help. And that's the big thing. And then, the money side of it didn't hurt. I mean, you think about the top tier racers, we've all got a background somewhere in racing. RC cars, even big cars. We've all got a background. Ulbrich comes from pan cars. I come from pan cars and dirt oval. Malakote comes from other stuff. You can just list people on and on and on and on that came from something else. So it's a very fun deal, and the Clash Titans is going to be a good race.
It's going to be great, dude. I can't wait, man. I'm going to be actually staying there quite for almost over a week and a half.
You've been down there with James.
I will be hanging out, but I'm going to say this, okay? Mm-hmm. I agree with everything you said. Exposure is what blew this thing out of the water. Okay,
yep.
100%, man. I'm going to do the same thing in sand drag racing. I'm going to do the same thing in IMDRA. I'm going to talk about this for a second. I don't have a lot of time. I went to Chicago this past weekend, Tommy. I know you don't watch what I do, but I went and hung out.
You went to Linwood.
I did. I went to Linwood. I hung out with Ron Hicks and IMDRA. Here's the deal. This is what nobody knows. And I'm getting ready to. And Ron, I know you're watching. I know you're listening. And I hope you don't get upset with what I'm getting ready to say. But Tommy, did you know that there's 3 more tracks going in as we speak on the East Coast, prepped?
I seen somebody is building a new one in the Northeast.
Where?
I can't remember where I seen it on Facebook. I was just scrolling through and seeing that, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Okay.
This
is getting real.
There's one. I'm going to say it. I don't care. Well, I do care, but he doesn't care. He actually told me to say it. Here, hold on. Right here. Where is he? Right here. Got him. So I have pictures of the track. Wow. I didn't put these on my thing so I could show everybody. New York and Georgia.
Yes, that's the one.
New York and Georgia is the only 2 I can talk about. The other one that hasn't broken ground yet. There's 3 tracks coming. Now I'm going to ask the question one more time. And we're talking about nationals. I don't want to talk
Yep.
about local races because I
Mm-hmm.
do I go to locals sometimes. We don't have a local presence here, Tommy. So I don't go to locals
Yes.
because we don't have it, okay? Make sure we're
Mm-hmm.
clear. I would love to go to local races every weekend, but we don't have them here. So I'm talking national and national events only. Why
Yes.
not? Why not run on a full prep track?
I'm
I
down
mean,
for it.
it's
I went to the Gator Nationals this year,
yes, you did, and
and
you loved it.
the only thing that was difficult was we shared the racetrack with foam tire cars, and their prep doesn't act really good with our prep. Other than that, that was the only. You just we had to set up either right or left of them and make sure that you got at least 50 foot out before you kind of came back to center, so to speak.
Okay.
Other than that, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with the prep track. The only drawback, there's no drawback. The only thing that stood in the way of prep track racing was the fact that you had to have a dedicated place to do it, whether it be
Correct.
like in
Correct.
Texas. Texas, I think out there is kind of on the edge of a parking lot that they've let them fence off and do whatever the way it looks. People, but where out in Georgia, by the way?
You know what? Here, let me ask. Hang on one second.
So, reason I be because I'm only 35 miles from Georgia.
Let me find out. And the
Yeah,
one,
find out.
the one in New York. Let me where in New York? Where in New York? He told me about this. He told me about this weekend. They just like he just showed me. And listen, I could try. I could do the best I can and put it up to the camera. But here, let me do something. Here, Tommy, hold on. Let me try something.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this up to the camera. Yeah, there it is. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see it, Tommy?
Yep.
Look at that. Look
Wonderful.
At this. I got two.
Beautiful black
hold on. Let me make sure I don't. Right there. This is happening as we speak. As we speak.
So
that's exciting to me.
So to answer one question from Erica.
Yeah.
Tommy and Jordan, how do you feel about a prep track instead of dealing with prep tires? You're still going to prep your tire to a point, but you're not going to do what you're doing. Because if you try to put that donkey butter on a prep racetrack, you will have a bad day. So, yes, Erica, I believe that is a way to do it. I don't have a problem with that. I'll go run it. Matter of fact, Billy knows that I really want to get on the prep track with them little Pro Mod missiles.
Yes, you
Matter
do.
of fact, everybody's already seen Dustin's put out the pictures of the Challenger.
Is
that's
it up
going
yet?
to be the GFR. So pictures of it are up. Yes, it has a name now. It's just not called the test bed. It's called the Challenger. So and Ken Loopy's put pictures out of his new stuff. And 5 Star's working on stuff, and there's got Choppa, I believe is his name, all that.
Yep.
Jared Mills, what is donkey butter? That's an awesome question, Jared. That's I want to call it a bad word, but donkey butter seems to work better.
No. I will tell you this, Tommy, and the whole world, everybody watching me. I was in Linwood this weekend, and I had the best time. With all that group of racers. They, I didn't know a lot of them, but I got to tell you this: they shook my hand. Billy, we know who you are, but we've seen you, and brother, they are excited that we are going to start working with IMDRA. I can't tell you guys where I'm going to be doing this next race with them, but it's coming soon.
It's because you're bringing exposure to something that doesn't have a lot of exposure right now. And they see the growth potential in it. I mean, so they run some bigger stuff.
Yeah.
Fifth scale. I mean, they run some big, and they also run some smaller stuff too, if I'm not mistaken. Look, the way they look at it, Dale Earnhardt used to say, where they booing or cheering, at least they're making noise. That's good. You're helping expose what they do, and hopefully it'll help them grow. Look, racing is one of the greatest things in this world. I don't care what form of racing you do. It's a great deal, and I'm going to tell you why. When you think about it, I learned how to work on cars. I learned how to problem solve from racing, from my father in racing. Other people you have memories about racing and stuff like that. Idle hands are the devil's playground, guys. So if you get your kid into racing, sports, whatever, more than likely things go good for them. It teaches them life lessons.
Yeah.
Plus this race, I mean, look, my wife is still on me about Puerto Rico. So she's like, she really wants to go to Puerto Rico. And I'm like, baby,
September 1st.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll,
September 1st.
So what I don't know if you really know, if you'd have been there, my wife went with me to Scotty's race.
No, and I've never met your wife.
So that a lot of people were surprised. They tell me I outkicked the coverage right there a little bit. So they're like, "Wow, you put up with him." Everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, sand drag. Yeah, that's something like the other day until you said something about that. I had never known nothing about sand drag. I heard people kind of playing like dirt racing, dirt drag, but I didn't know that there was people that take this professionally or very seriously. See, Tommy, so you're bringing all this exposure.
I'm going to bring sand drag racing here. You know what? I'm going to tell you like this. I'm already going to put on so you heard what Jordan said. Jordan said if he knows by January 1 what we're doing next year, I can you know what? This is what I can tell you because my sand drag thing is going to be bad. I can't wait. 3 races. East Coast, West Coast, Puerto Rico. That is the goal, Tommy. Now, will I get to Puerto Rico for the sand drag race? I don't know. But I will tell you, Saul is the guy that owns that sand drag track, bro. I have a new friend. So I will tell you that. That's part of my announcement on September 1. I can tell you this because I'm hot and heavy over on. It's called RCSDA, if you guys want to hang out. Remote Control Sand Drag Association. And if you guys want to come play in the sand, I'm going to tell you like this, Tommy. You don't have to worry about prep.
Nope.
And it's a tuner's race, 1,000%. So what you're doing out there on NPRC on the asphalt, you ain't going to do that in the dirt. You're going to be stuck in grooves that those fifth scale went through. You got to deal with the grooves. But they're not grooves like you deal with on NPRC. You got to deal with the divots in the sand. You got to not only drive your car, you got to tune it.
Right. So it's what me and Malaco talked about this the other day. And with the prep cars, our no prep cars, it's point and shoot. Either it goes or it doesn't. Either You're not as a driver. The only time you're making a difference 9 times out of 10 is at the light. Dry tire. You have to drive them. The real street class up there in Wisconsin, you kind of had to drive them. They kind of want to walk around a little bit. You got to do it. The sand drag is even a greater extension of that, I imagine. Like you said, you're running through the ruts that other people have left, and you're trying to make sure you don't overpower the racetrack, stuff like that. So, yeah, you're 100% right on a lot of that. RC car racing isn't by any means going anywhere. It's not dying. It's just what we have to do is sometimes fix what we've caused.
Agreed.
And I think after November, after the Clash, I think it gives everybody time to digest the prep situation.
Correct.
And they'll say, we've had 4 or 5 races that have done this, the ideology of moving multiple lanes, splitting lanes, spec prep, XYZ, it'll all be laid out, and it'll help us grow and everything. The sky's not falling, by no means. It's only getting to be brighter.
You said something earlier, and God dang it, you said something earlier about, do you think we can fix this?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
we broke it. We can fix it.
Okay, but you said something earlier, and because I hear everything. You said when you and Mark do your prep show, this is about everybody, bro. Do you think we should do something like that, where we kind of bring people in from, whether it's from teams, whether it's race directors, whether it's prep bankers, and all come in the same, group, Zoom meeting, whatever it is, and try to work it out amongst us? Or do you think we can't do that?
Well, I'll be 100% honest.
Honest, man.
The manufacturers of equipment, tire prep people aside right now, they're the ones that better have a lot of vested interest in that.
Yeah.
Steve and Dustin and
Yep.
Rob and
Kelly Ray. I
Kelly
say
Ray.
him 'cause
What's
he's local.
Locks? Dave. The people that own all these companies that are producing cars and spending prototype money and have team drivers, they're the ones that's going to be left holding the bag.
Yeah.
They have the biggest debt in this deal. So I think they need to be coming up with logical. They need to be in it with us. Race promoters and respected race directors and boards and stuff like that need to be involved, because we all need to make sure we're in the same canoe going down the same river together.
Yep.
We're not going to get anywhere splitting off. The fix is not as hard as everybody thinks. The fix is breaking a culture change. It brings on a culture change of not going up there with 6 coats of donkey butter on the tires, nuking the tires, and then sending it. So the questions are, and there's some stuff that, basically, I think having a tribunal of people to say, Mark, Frank Greer, I want y'all to go test these 2 preps, these 3 preps. I want you to put them down. No heat, with heat, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Tommy, Nick Bell,
Yep.
Mike Bush,
Yep.
Ryan Clay. Y'all all right there together. Y'all go take these 3 preps. No heat, blah, 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 go run them. We'll find somebody in the north. We'll find somebody in Texas. We'll find somebody in the northeast. All this stuff, northwest. We'll go out here and get some usable data. Say, here's what we experienced. Here was track temp. Here was humid scientific. This is what you have to do. You just can't throw darts at the board. You got to have information.
Yeah, I got it.
I think what people are going to find out, the tunes that you ran, when people are scared that their tune package isn't going to work. And it's not going to if you're not running on donkey butter. That's the problem. I'm going to tell you right now, and I can say this, and I'm not going to. A very, very fast individual in Michigan said the difference in my first dot on my ESC was 25 points different between Michigan versus straight line. What was the difference? A gooey, sticky racetrack.
That's a bit. That's
That's
big.
a ton.
That's a ton.
Right. And then goes to Michigan and gets to run more conventional tuning, or a more not leave on the damn moon. So that tells me, and they went, no, Jared, it's not. I'll just go ahead. Jared's watching. So he keeps asking me about donkey butter. So I guess I'm gonna have to get somebody to make donkey butter.
You better trademark that, because somebody's gonna take that donkey butter.
They, as long as they put my face on the bottle, they can have me looking like a jackass with 2 ears.
Tater masher.
Tater masher preps.
There you go.
What it boils down to is, guys, when you leave off the heavy prep and go run conventional prep, your first dot in the ESC is going to come way down. I've done told everybody this. Anybody that needs help with tar, I'll help you. And the people that in these spec prep situations, okay, like the catvetown deal, if you don't have experience with get stuck, let's say you've never ran it before, and there's people that might not have, please get in contact with Jeff Zuccarello.
Yep.
Jeff will tell you exactly how to do what you need to do. He is the prep manufacturer. Lean on his resources. Talk to him.
Yeah.
If you go to a racetrack that's another spec prep, lean on that individual. They should be able to tell you how to do it. Or if he's got team drivers, like if you're at a race and it's a monster grip race, there's monster grip drivers. There's, red monster drivers. There's get stuck drivers. There's all this. Just use your resources, guys.
Amen. Amen. There's my buddy right there. See him right there? Homako Arena. That's my buddy. What's up, Saul? Saul Arena. That's my buddy. Hey, Saul. Look at that, buddy. I'll bring that to Puerto Rico.
It's not, Jared. It's not what you think it is. I'll call you when I get off here.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about your butter.
So
Hey,
so right here, Paul Lampa. Paul says, I need help, Tommy Burgess. Not a problem. I'll help you, Paul. I don't care what car you run, whatever. If you need help running BBM tar or
yep.
whatever, and I can help you, I'll be more than glad to help you. But
Now,
Mike gives a great tutorial of it.
I'm going to tell you like
Go ahead.
this. No. I love the fact that he said Paul Lampa, which Paul Lampa don't need any help. That guy, he's fast.
Built like a triangle upside down.
Yeah. With that
Traffic
being
cone.
said, I'm gonna run off what Paul Lampa said, and since I have Tommy Burgess on the show right now, I'm going to announce it. I wanted to announce it a little earlier. We're starting 2 new shows. We're starting Racer of the Week, and I'm starting a show with Tommy Burgess, with Ryan Clay. Now, I'm only saying these names because they've agreed to come on. With Jordan Farrow. With, help me out, Bailey. Who else do we got coming on? Travis Barnard. So the show is going to go like this. I'm asking for, let's talk about GFRP because Tommy's on. I'm asking Tommy and Travis to come on the show, just those two, without me, and help you guys with your car. Then the following week, it'll be GFR or 5-star. And I've already talked to Tom Rockwell. I messaged him yesterday. He's in. Then you'll have R1. So that new show will launch right after the Catvetown Meltdown, and it's called RC Tech Talk. I'm going to take that name back that I built a year and a half, 2 years ago. My logos are being made, and these guys have all agreed to do this with you guys to help you get faster, to help you work on your car, and to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the experienced racer is probably not going to, like, they got their own deal. There's entry level and intermediate guys that have questions. Obviously, there's a few proprietary things that you just can't talk about because honestly, you don't know until you go to that racetrack some days. But the whole idea is to give people a toolbox.
Yep.
And what I mean by that is, hey, here's 3 wrenches. You used to only have 1 wrench. Yeah. What do you do with these 3 wrenches? You've got 3 things now. Hey, this is how I progress. A lot of people have a hard time when they show up somewhere they've never been. They don't have the confidence to say, I know this tune goes down a mud hole. This is what I put in it. It'll go run 185. You go run, it runs 184. Okay, I've got some confidence in that. This is where I should be. If it goes 195 and spins the tire a little bit, you're like, okay, the place is a little slicker than I thought. You got to help people build confidence in making decisions.
Yep.
And there's no, I'll go and tell everybody now, there's no replacement for practice and work and preparation.
Yeah.
You're not going to win not working on your stuff. And, you got to maintain it. And there's plenty of people out there. I hope nobody thinks team guys are not approachable.
Oh my God.
I can't think that I can talk to any team guy from any other team and we can talk in generalities. We won't give one another secrets, but we'll be like, hey man, X, Y, Z. And he'll be like, yeah, I kind of felt that too. So sometimes you use them as a sanity check. And I don't see anybody getting turned away for help. I know that if you've got a GFRP car, Nick Bell Racing Products, Get Stuck, anything like that, and you come to me, hey, I'll put my car to the side and I'll work on your car. I've done it before.
I've seen you do it, dude. I've seen everything that you're saying right now. I've seen it on the track, 100%.
Right. So, this tech talk deal that Billy's going to help put on everybody is going to help everybody in general. It's we got to. You can't go baby seal clubbing, so to speak. It's fun to win. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Crazy.
But I would rather outrun somebody in a dead heat by a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
Because they were at their best and I was at my best.
Agreed.
To go out there and go, to pick on people and laugh. What gets me is when people laugh about knowing people are green and new and need experience or need a little guidance. I beat the hell out of him, boy, I run the shit out of him. No, man, come on.
Yeah.
This light don't quit acting like it. I'm gonna choke it out.
I was going to ask you if that's
So
lightning.
no, that's this Tenergy. It's probably it's Count Chocula.
It's all those vibes that you're putting off, dude.
Right, yeah. It's about to give me a damn seizure.
I think it's going to give me a seizure.
Jesus Christ. What is it fucking plugged in? Oh shit. No wonder it's mad at me because I don't have it plugged in. It's about to go dead.
You have to admit.
There we go.
You have to admit. You can't make this shit up.
Oh, now the Bluetooth's going to get pissed at.
Oh, my
be
God.
right.
I love it, dude. You know what? There's nothing else I'd rather be doing right now, Tommy, hanging out with you.
I mean, we're going to have fun. I hope look, things have changed in the drag race world. I want you to look this year alone. The same guys ain't winning. New faces are winning.
You're right. Yep.
That shows you that there is something going on good. Like there's not just one guy's just beating everybody down. You go to a race now and you take Tulsa for a good example. There was a lot of heavy hitters there.
Yep.
Okay, and they went fast. You go to other races, those same heavy hitters that went fast, hell, they went out in the second round.
Yes.
Or they went out in whatever. So you're seeing that, but if you're fast, it's a burden. I don't know, people ain't going to believe that. Because here's what happens. If you go up, let's take Frank Ulbrich and Cody Offenbacher, for example. People know they're fast.
Yep.
What are people going to do? I don't have a chance. This is the only way I've got a chance. They reach in there and they poke something in it. In the words of Jordan Farrow, if it sticks, it's going to be a national AT record. Yeah. That's what bites those guys a lot of times. But those guys racing them, that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to try to win. So, it being that guy comes with a price.
Yes, it does.
There's nothing free. Nope. So, if we can help people, in the tech talk to make it more competitive, I would love to see a field where the top 32 separated by like 700ths of a second.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be some real racing, man. That would be bad to the bone. That's the stuff I love, dude. I mean, listen, you can hear it in my voice when I see a good race, brother. It's on.
Oh yeah. So what else have you got going on?
Brother, I'm good. That's it. I got my new Sand Drag Association. If you want to come join and come play, I'm going to do the same thing I did with the Duke of the Box Talk, Tommy. So if you come to one of my races, you're going to be able to do. We're going to call it Duke of the Razor. we're going to have some of these out.
Sponsored by Gillette.
Yeah, we're going to have these at the track. Okay, so look, I got, and we're going to put paddle tires on them, and it's the same thing.
Who makes that?
Losi does. So same
so
thing.
It's a Losi product.
Yeah, it's a Losi product. Yes, and I want to do the same thing, Tommy. Because Duke of the Box Talk is really, man, I have so much fun doing that, and a lot of people have fun doing it. And I think if I bring these with me, and I'll throw they'll have paddles and smoothie buffs on them. I got more paddles coming. But if I give you something to run in the sand, it's going to get you hooked, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
So just a heads up, Steve Rule's going to go through the show and watch and look at all the comments.
Yeah, I saw
also
that.
help answer some questions.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
There's a lot of them.
For any of these, anything directly, because I'm going to go through these in the morning, and I'm probably going to miss some at 5:30 in the morning. Guys, if you got any questions, contact me on Facebook. If you've got my phone, there's a lot of people who've got my phone number. Text me. I don't care. I'll answer. It's no big deal.
And he will.
We'll go through this. Anything that anybody needs, try your best to just remember. If you don't agree with it, it's okay. But it's how you don't agree with something that means more, how you perceive it, how you act. Let's be nicer to one another. Smiles per gallon. Listen, you don't never know when the last time you're going to see somebody. Period. Don't leave on a bad thing. Like Mark got to meet my wife up at the Scottish race.
Okay.
Man, he was like, oh, hi, Mrs. Burgess, blah, blah, blah. It was funny. She's like, because my wife was like, where's that Mark Vine at? It's
boy.
okay. Me and him's good. That's why I don't take her some of these races, because my wife is fiercely protective of me, just like all wives are. And now she's done made Race Wives auxiliary, like with Cassidy and Bailey And she got to meet Lindsay May. She got to meet all these people. Now she's like, well, when's your next race? Where are we going? She wants to go to Okeechobee with me now. Blah, 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 blah,
Cool.
blah, blah. Why aren't you going to the Cavetown race? Well, honey, I can't get off work. You know, she's wanting me to go to more bigger races now. So remember, the family that races together stays together. If mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. All that stuff comes true, guys.
I do have something to say before I go, and it's about Cavetown Meltdown, and it's about what you just said.
Okay.
You never know when you're going to see that guy or girl on that track again. And I've been thinking about this, and I think it's okay to go ahead and say this. If not, I'd rather ask for forgiveness. I believe that JFab's Dallas versus the World is out. I'm pretty sure it's out. We've talked about it. We've been hot. We've been cold. We've been hot. We've been cold. He's doing something. I'm going to get somewhere with this because I got to get going. He's doing something, but I can't tell you what. But it doesn't look like we're doing the big Dallas versus the World. So, with that being said, Cavetown Meltdown is going to be your last chance. If you are a heavy hitter, if you want an experience, if you want to come out and meet, I almost said Tommy, but he's not going to be there. If you want to come out and meet all these guys and girls, the Cavetown Meltdown is the last race. What I mean by you have to qualify into the Clash of the Titans, okay? Because this is it. I got next weekend, Tommy. I've got your race. Yep. I got whatever JFab does. Whatever he does, I'm going to handle him. Or he's my boy. I do whatever he needs, and that's all. So I wish, and I'm just going to say it because at this point in my life, I don't care. Tom Rockwell, Joey Davis. I really wish you guys would reconsider and come down to Cavetown. You know, Joey was the winner there. You know, come back down to Cavetown, guys, and let's do this one more time, and let's race because this is it for the year. I'm talking about the big race, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else is.
So, here's what I'm going to say to the guys that maybe have backed out on the spec prep.
Yeah, please.
I understand it. I understand everybody feels a certain kind of way. And I understand a lot of things. A lot of those people that you're speaking of, and I'm not knocking them because I'm a sponsored driver. Yeah. They don't have to pocket out like some people might have to for burnt up electronics. Yep. So I don't think they understand. And I love Joey to death. I love Tom. They're good people. Good. By them coming to that race, that shows support that we need to do something. And that while they may not think that's the right something, they're on board with something. They're on board with the effort. That's what it means. You know, so if Tom and Joey, you're listening, your influence on people's buy-in is monumental. You may not even realize it. Yeah. But your buy-in is huge. So when they see if a certain team boycotts a race, it divides things. We shouldn't have to pick sides. We should, if it's so atrocious it doesn't make sense, that's one thing. But from what I hear, and I quote, 90% of the country runs get stuck. Yeah, I don't know. I know I know Joey and them's got get stuck. I've seen them run it. They know how to run it. I would, if I could make it, I would make it. I would just give it one more thought, guys. You don't have to change your mind because I asked you to, but just sit back, and if you don't do nothing but listen to what I'm saying about, please know your place in this hobby. You're not just a racer, Tom Rockwell. You're not just a racer, Joey Davis. Amen. People look up to you for advice. They look up to you for guidance. They follow your lead. Yep. If you're not doing it maliciously, you're just like, man, this doesn't fit my program. I understand. I get it. I really do. But there's a lot of people, if you bite that bullet and you go out there and say, you know what, I'm going to tough it out. I'm going to show the rest of the community, you know what, this might not be my cup of tea, but we're trying to do something for the betterment of it. I'm going to be on board with you. It changes the culture and the attitude that you see in NPRC.
I agree with you, man. I 1,000% agree with you. Because it's the R1 team, they are respected by many. Listen, They're hated by many too, but you're GFRP's hated by many and loved by many. That's just the way it is. That's racing.
Yeah.
That's just good old fashioned racing, man. But I agree with you. But listen, my thing is this. And I gotta say this because Brooks Waldrop called me out. I'm talking about where I'm going, guys. I'm not talking about anybody else, guys. Whatever everybody else is doing, perfect. I'm talking about what I'm doing, what we are doing, and where we're going. That's all I'm saying. This is the last race that you do not have to race into, like the Clash of the Titans, right? This is the last kind of a big, let's do this, man. And I'm with you. You know, Tom, if you're listening, or Joey, all you guys, I hope you guys reconsider, man, because having you guys down there would really, 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 really get this race, knock it out of the park.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like I said, you
I only have 3%.
You go to
left.
these you go to these races and you see all these people come. You know, I went to Tulsa. I've never been there. Wanted to try it out. Enjoyed it. Got to hang out with my race car buddies. I mean, I love doing toy car things with toy car people.
Yeah, it's fun.
There's no mistake in that.
Nope.
So you're about out of battery life, Billy.
I got 4% left. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Tommy, do you want to talk about? I mean, is there anything I named Clash of the Titans? We all know about that. I mean, what about sponsors? You want to talk about anybody?
Yeah. So I'd like to thank Dustin at GFRP for all he does for me. Ironically, Zook get Dustin Mallycoat.
I haven't heard from that guy in months.
Well, so this is soccer season.
Oh, that's right.
His daughter is a really good soccer player, and they've been kind of traveling to some camps and stuff for she's going to get a scholarship for soccer and all that. So, you know, thanks all he does. Thanks for all my GFRP teammates. You know, Zook at Get Stuck, irony here, Spec Prep. It's not Zook, I'm thanking him. But, you know, he helps me. Jack Deerhart with High Roller Bearings, Caldwell Raceworks Wings, BeachRC.com. Brent Dinsford just became a Roar board member. I know most people might not know what Roar is for that, but
you're sponsored by Beach RC?
Yes, sir.
No kidding. I didn't know that. You sound like Jordan now. You got more sponsors than everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were sponsored by Beach RC. That's cool.
Yeah, Brent has been a long-time supporter of mine from Dirt Oval.
Okay.
Jody Miller at Killer Concepts for the paint.
I don't want to talk about Jody Miller right now. I'm mad at him.
Everybody gets mad at the paint guy. But you know,
Jody.
there's a lot of guys in stuff that, you know, help me. You know, J Fab, Ulbrich, Chris Gilliland, all the GFR team guys do that. They are monumental in my program. Locally, you know, for me, Nick Bell is a huge fan, supporter, and I am of his. Nick takes care of me with the horsepower and stuff like that, and I appreciate it. Pinky Tune helps me with the batteries and stuff like that. So I got a lot of people that invest time in me. So how I conned all these people to believe in me, I do not know. I sold snake oil somehow, some way. So I appreciate each and every one of them. You know, the thing I'm excited about also is we're starting to see options. You know, in certain parts of the cars now, bodies, tires, chassis. We're going to get there on other parts of the cars. Hey, it's great, you know, that we're seeing that because variety is the spice of life when it comes to this. So, I appreciate everything. Thanks for my wife. She puts up with a lot.
Mine too.
Of all the stuff I do. Yeah, I mean, dude, without my wife, you know, doing what she does and taking care of things she takes care of, racing would be a heck of a lot harder for me anyway. I really want to thank Mike Bush for wanting to put his neck out on the line to be the guy that is the spec prep for the Clash of Titans.
Cool.
I don't think people realize for a prep person, I don't care what spec prep company it is.
Yeah.
It's not a gamble, but it's a lot. If something doesn't go right or whatever, people are going to point fingers.
Yep.
Mike's not worried about it. You know, none of these guys should be. Everything's going to work. And if you don't go run a 129 at 119, doesn't mean it's not a good race. You know, people need to change their perspective, need to change their outlook on what's good and bad. I think that's the biggest problem.
Yep.
So them IMRDA races, or I don't even know if I said them damn initials right. So are you going to do IMDRA? Are you going to be
Screw it.
Doing some of them.
Screw it.
Okay.
I'll tell you. Screw it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, you ain't got to
No.
give dates.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, you
I'm coming
plan
to
to
your.
promote it.
I'm coming to your neck of the woods.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm coming to the Rock. It's going to piss a lot of people off.
Rockingham. Oh, I love it.
I'm coming to Rockingham. Yep.
Good.
We are coming. Hey, really quick. That guy, my battery died on my phone. I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you the name.
Christ.
I was going to tell you the name of those racetracks. The one in New York and the one in Georgia. If my phone comes back on, I will. If my phone comes back on, I will. Give me 1 second. I can't log into my freaking computer. Hold on. If my phone's coming back on right now, I'll tell you right now. I want to tell everybody. Hold on. Hang on 1 second, guys.
I am so mad at JFab because JFab has a new Challenger.
What?
Yeah, the new Pro Mod car, the foam tire car.
Oh.
JFab's got it.
Hey.
Damn it.
Let's talk about something really quick because I got to go. We got 3% left
Go
on the
ahead.
battery. Listen to me. I want to talk about Pro Mod really quick.
Yep.
I haven't seen Dustin's. I haven't seen it, so I can't say anything about it. But what I will tell you guys is I saw Kenneth Loopy's last weekend, and I saw 5-Star Hobbies David's the week before. Woo-wee! And Mike Ray ran 112 miles an hour on that new Drag Race Concepts Pro Mod.
Yep.
Woo-wee! These things are looking good, man.
Oh, so if you'll notice, after me and Frank left the Gator Nationals, the whole vibe around that Pro Mod deal changed. Frank went 106 mile an hour in a Pro Mod car down there.
Yep.
And everybody was like, holy crap.
Yep.
And we basically used our NPRC electronics package and bolted it in. That's what we done. We didn't know no better.
Yeah.
So now that there is some life brought into, before there were a lot of sensorless, blah, blah, blah. Now they see there's some more options. And I think some people have got excited to go chase that big speed and that big mile an hour and ET numbers again.
I'm going to tell you what. Go ahead. Sorry.
Plus, you've got a new chassis manufacturer.
Yep.
Who's jumped in, GFRP.
Yep.
5-Stars updating and testing new stuff.
It looks good.
Loopy just introduced his stuff.
Yep. Greg
Choppa's got a car. Yeah,
Urban Assault.
Dude, so all of a sudden, guess what? There's some buzz around it.
Yes.
So it's good stuff.
So listen, we only have 2% left on my battery, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Kenneth, so if you are a Pro Mod guy, I'm going to give you a little take of what Ken Loopy told me last weekend. You know what he's telling me? He's telling me if you update your electronics, he said the electronics are so much better than the older, because people are still running dinosaur electronics, Tommy.
Yes.
He said by Mike Ray updating his electronics with this new Pro Mod, he did 112.
So I know what Mike did. Mike went from the old school, sensorless Mamba type setup.
Yep. Correct.
To
That's
a
exactly right.
R1 and a 4-pole.
Correct.
I can't remember which 4-pole he put in.
I don't either.
And Mike hasn't even scratched the surface yet. I know Mike. Mike's a really good guy. Mike helped me and Frank a little bit with some advice and stuff at the Gator Nationals. So I don't see why a Pro Mod car won't run 119.
No kidding?
Yeah, we'll run like a 119, 118 at probably 120 mile an hour is possible. But here's what happens. As we go through this, we're going to start finding limitations in other part of the car. Yeah. So there's going to be a little bit of a growing period.
Yeah.
But that happens. But I don't see by midsummer next year somebody's going to run 119 at 115, whatever, with a Pro Mod.
Crazy.
And hey, as Pro Mod grows, the rail class is going to get a little life.
It's all going to grow, Tommy.
Yeah. I know anybody that's it's a GFRP team guys chomping at the bits to get one. The DRC guys, I'm sure Ken's going to get a couple people that are going to want to run. Hey, I run the NPRC no prep. Hey, I'm going to get Pro Mod 2, play with it. You're going to get an influx of people. You're going to see some growth in that sport. And, they're going to be smart enough to figure it out. And they're going to be, they're going to go have fun. I'm going to tell you right now, when I pulled the trigger on it down there at the Gator Nationals, that thing got small in a hurry, as Stevie Fast would say. Woo, but I'm gonna tell you what, my heart was about to be down my chest. See that thing? It's just, it's gone.
It was gone. Yeah.
God, it's awesome.
I'm going to tell you two things, Tommy, and then I got to go. Woodburn, New York. Woodbourne, New York, and Conyers, Georgia.
Connor, Georgia, yeah.
And we only have 1% left. I hate to cut you off, guys. I really do, Tommy, but I got 1% left.
I'm going to go eat pizza and play Call of Duty.
Play Call of Duty. I got to go to work, back to work. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And stay tuned. We've got a big announcement next Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday. Tommy, I got to go.
Hey, bro.